What is up, ladies and germs? We are back with another video. I am MTG Flux, and in the last video that we did, basically the cover of what I did during MagicCon Atlanta, which I had a freaking blast, a lot of cool things. But here, we were able to do a We Draft Paper episode and Bronze to Mythic style. So cool. Very excited about that. So this is Bronze to Mythic. Jim Davis put on this event, and he did a really great job with this event. They made these cards that you get stickers between bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, mythic, and it's best of one games, and it's just best of one. It was cool, and so it could be really fast, which with my deck it was really fast to grind through these games, so much so that Jim's wife was like, back again. Ultimately I got mythic before anyone else, and I was just stomping 6-0, baby, best of one, and the deck was sweet. I look forward to showing you guys that, and but let's get underway. Yeah, here's the sheet naked without my stickers, and we get Gilgamesh. Looking at there is an Ambrosia and then a Pixie here. I think between the Treachery, the Pixie, and Gilgamesh, those are the right picks. Gilgamesh is really great in this spot because it's pick one and you can build around it. Jim Davis even had a bucket list thing of doing the build around Gilgamesh, and he talked about it during his TV show of Bronze to Mythic. So, but yeah, super cool. Good to take Gilgamesh here. So going into this pack, it was super apparent because I know I'm looking for just equipments, right? Equipments and things to go good with equipments. Galacat is something that goes really good with equipments. The artifacts gives it a bump, and putting an artifact on it or equipment on it makes it a big old problem. So that's good, but I think Giat being a 2-drop, a little bit more mana intensive, but being a 2-drop is probably just the best pick that you can do here. Giat. So, Sahagin wouldn't be like the worst choice in the world, neither. But I think if we're building around Gilgamesh, that's just what we need to do. All right, pack 3, or pick 3. So Jim was actually late to this event because we have the Great Sword, but we also get a Thunder Magic. Yep, Thunder Magic in this pack, and you just have to take the cheap removal. So Jim was playing in this event. You also had like MTG Nerd Girl and some other folk in there, but notable names. So this was interesting. So this was an ambitious pick. I passed on the artifact that gets +2/+2 for every equipment you have out for Zidane. So hear me out. With decks like this, understanding that it's going to be super low curve, you need something to just end the game. Having a steal your creature effect and give it lifelink, it is such a big swing that I think Zidane is the right pick. So I'm going to tell you guys that, right? But when I was sifting through those cards, I didn't see that equipment. Did not see that equipment. And I think about it now, and like the deck would have just been absolutely disgusting with that equipment in there. I am just saying. because I actually do think that the equipment is the right pick, but I just didn't see it. Just went right past it. And I'll let you know, I've watched this video 3 times just to kind of study to talk about, and missed it all times except for the last time. I'm like, I'm going to explain that one. That's going to be difficult. But, stay humble. I make mistakes all the time, more than most, I'm sure. But yeah, I picked Zidane. Acting like I'm justifying it, right? But yeah, in this spot, I take the land here. I can bring back some artifacts, but it never came up, really. But I think at the very least, it's a free spot that I'm filling, having a spell there, and it could have applications. So this spot, more so I can take removal or Gladiolus, and I think I was specking on some splashing colors, especially in a pack where I'm not seeing anything for me. I mean, the Light of Judgment is subpar of a removal spell. Red was well equipped with removal as a color in the set, with all your thunder magics, fire magics, and suplexes and so on. So no lack thereof there. And then Zidane is basically a removal spell as well, as I keep trying to justify him. Monk's Fist is actually great in this spot. Thought about the dwarf real quick because it does synergize with Gyat, but so does the equipment, and that also synergizes with Gilgamesh. Late Sahagin, that was definitely a sign here, and you kind of see me like confused about my life. Like, why is this here? The card is just too good. There was a blue-red 4 drops matters things around because I ended up getting a lot of the warrior sword. I mean, that's a great target for that as well. Not much here for me. I take the 2-drop white card just to keep the color cut. Nothing really for me to cut. I mean, I guess I could have hated on the Giga Chad. No, Giga Chad's the Giga Giant, or yeah, whatever it is. But the Giga Toad could be problematic, but never ran into that, luckily. So this was a late Lion's Heart. There's the Giga Chad, by the way. The Lion's Heart's great in this deck. Super, super good. People are finishing up their packs. So I'm medium right now. I got a Thunder Magic. Yeah, just on removal, just a Thunder Magic at this point. Someone was messing up in our pod because there was 2 different rounds where I think I just got 1 card at the very end. We get Kuja here. Kuja is something to splash for. I'm very okay with splashing for Kuja. I'm looking for anything to play, and there's really nothing. So Kuja for the splash does seem like the right thing. This next pick blows my freaking mind. Yeah, don't kid yourself. Cool. So, taking Kuja feels good. And then getting past this pack. Was it this pack? Yeah, no. Next pick? I don't know, I blacked out. So I don't think it was this pack, if that's the case, because take easy White Orsite. White Orsite's so good. Delivery Moogle is very tempting as well, and it holds equipment well, but having just answer anything cards is super great. Suplex, great spot right here. Oh yeah, and that super pick that I was talking about is actually pack 3, pick 2. Super Suplex is super good. We take those. So I was thinking about the Valor here. I actually waffled between the Valor and Zach Fair. I ended up taking Zach Fair. There's a warrior sword that I'm looking to wheel. Understanding that my colors feel really open. So I put down the Valor, then I changed my mind last second. I think the Valor is a fine card, but I'm looking at my curve. I'm like, Gilgamesh is up there, Zidane's up there. Like, I need to keep things low. And Zach Fair actually played out really well. Barrett Wallace wouldn't be a bad choice. I was actually wanting to wheel Barrett Wallace, but it did not. But second suplex feels really good. I just think like the cheap removal actually, I mean, as good as the deck was, the cheap removal was the best part about it. Just taking care of all the little things, and then if they stick something big, and then I get to Zidane it, and then the game's basically over at that point. White Auracite again. A lot of bombs around, but I wasn't a big fan of the bombs during the set. I mean, they're fine and suitable and serve a purpose, but wasn't much of what I was looking for. Not in this kind of deck. Yeah, feeling good about this spot. Like, I don't feel fantastic about this spot until the third pack. Third pack, they just give it all of it. It was just free. Everything felt so free. Oh yeah, earlier I was saying Jim Davis was a little bit late to his event here. His wife was getting everything set up and for it, but he was actually in a PTQ trying to requalify for the Pro Tour. I was there in March when he got dropped from the Pro Tour. Is when I first met him. And I met him in a weird way because I saw how sad he was and everything. I just felt bad, but I love the guy and love what he does. So I was able to meet him, like, hey man, sorry, like, hate that for you, man. Like, you did a nice run, man. I'm sure you'll be back, and he's like, yeah, I appreciate it. But come back and he's requalifying. So the last time I seen him was then, and then he's back. And then he ends up splitting in the finals of the PTQ to requalify for the Pro Tour. So he's back on the Pro Tour. And that's what this is all about. Like, a lot of it celebrating. I'll take the mana fixing here to help splash for Kuja. He's bad at fixing, but still fixing. But, like, this was his event. And it was a really cool event. And I will always try to support his event at any capacity. But, yeah, I'm a big fan. And I crushed this event. It felt awesome. I wish I had some gameplay to show you, but I don't know how appropriate it was in the space. I'm sure it was fine and all that, but things were going so fast, and like, I was trying to stay competitive. I was trying to just crush as many people as possible. But, could have not won a single game, it would have been still a fun event. But yeah, late Warrior Sword. Needed those. Warrior Sword just really made this deck full, like more so complete. Like at that spot, having a nice little body you can even just throw it away and re-equip. Like, we're cool. But yeah, I'm looking to try and improve the We Draft paper in some different ways. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments at any capacity. But yeah, Lawson and he was helping me kind of like structure maybe how I put everything down, which may be valuable. This is the pack that everything gets a little nuts. And having multiples of like these cards that you want to just made this deck like super juicy. All right. So I get past Ishin. So Ishin seems like really, really good. This was kind of like a real decision I had to make. I took it instead of second Zidane, second Lionheart's, third White Orosite, or a third Suplex. I took Ishin because with Gilgamesh, it gives an extra trigger on attacking triggers. With Gilgamesh, I would be able to do the search thing twice. This was more of a disciplined pick, because, or it was a discipline. It would have been less disciplined if I would have just. It would have been more disciplined if I just took a suplex or a white Orosite. Probably a suplex would have been better. At any rate, but Ishin did leave those things open. Gilgamesh was, and this is when I get past an ancient copper dragon. I normally stay quiet at the table. I don't really say much. I want everyone to just mind their business, stuff like that. Unless it's like friends and stuff, I'll support all that. But it was it was so funny because he passed it, and then I was like, man, that pack must have been busted. He's like, no, I'm just not in red. I'm like, oh man, that was not the answer I wanted. This is kind of a tough pick. I mean, white Mage's Staff would have been like stupid in this deck, but I think Freya gives me another body with evasion. I think is actually a big deal. Trying to get in that damage. And where's equipment? Well, I'm not above taking another Monk's Fist, but there's a Thunder Magic here. Yep, feeling good. Oh, so for the Ishin, so the only two cards that Ishin actually supports is Ash, and which I take right here, which is Ash soloed a couple games for me, like outperformed. Even when I played the set like in full swing of its season, Ash didn't perform that well. Ash was really good in this deck, especially when you're just already built around it. Really good. But Ishin supports Gilgamesh and Ash, and those are my only two targets there. So my only other considerations, like, it's a 3 mana 3/4, or it's 2 mana intensive. When I'm already probably splashing black, there were some decisions made there to make my mana worse. I opted not to play Ishin. I think it would have been more cute and like cool. I don't think it would have made the deck better. Because the best thing about, I think Kuja was such a good card on its own that it's kind of a no-doubter. This was an interesting pick. Take a third white Orosite or an item shopkeep. I like the 2-drop here because I don't want to play those little white lions that tap things. It's really not what my deck's looking for. Pretty much taking this dual land over anything. I know the vendor's good in this deck, but I think, yeah, being able to cast my spells is most important, especially when I have Gilgamesh on 3 red pips. Like, no, maybe it's 2. I think it's 3. We got a Zidane and a Suplex. Second Zidane, like, was the cherry on top for this deck, and so on. So, as we kind of run this kind of draft out, I think, like, I just want to say it was an amazing event, and Jim Davis is great, and I appreciate the opportunity to get to play it, and they did it for free. It was all stuff out of their pockets, man, and like, that means a lot to me, just because like not everyone can afford all these events and stuff like that, and they spend most of their money just trying to get into the events or the cons, and being able to provide these goes a long way for these folks. So I think that's pretty special. The games went great. I was crushing. And I also asked Jim to play a game after I went 6-0 just to see if he would play. And I asked him, like, is it appropriate? I already got Mythic, but like, I know everyone wants to play you. He's like, absolutely, man. Let's play. And that was awesome. And I beat him too. Like, it was just great. I was just WWW, but like what was more important was the experience, man. Like, I had a really good time doing it. But I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to put up the deck list real quick, and I hope you guys enjoy what we do here. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch y'all later.